Alright, what is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be covering the sniper attachments that I run for my quote-unquote meta attachments. These are my stats I've been playing since the beta, so hopefully my opinions on some of these will be a little bit more backed with the experience and time that I have in the game. Now, again, snipers aren't that good overall anymore after they got nerfed a long time ago. For those who know who I am, and you guys know why these weapons got nerfed, specifically the SWS. For those of you who don't know, there is quite a few clip dumps of sniper aggressive quickscoping gameplay like Call of Duty on this channel, along with the professional video that I had made for my 1-year anniversary for playing the game. There are a lot of quickscope clips in there, and the reason for that is because all the snipers, and I'm talking not the X-Bar, sorry, we're the X-Bar, the NCW, and the GOL Magnum, because those weren't in the game at the time, right? So these guys, NCW doesn't count for this damage model, but for these two guys, both these snipers would one-shot you within 20 meters. So that meant that they did 110 damage, so if you had body armor, you would survive. But 110 base damage out to 20 meters. So with that, you could play aggressively, and you could have the fastest time to kill within 20 meters. So you could beat any SMG, any AR, anything that wasn't a point click and would instantly down you, because the time to kill on the snipers were instant, and it was very fun. Now, everyone's got their own specific opinion about one-shot mechanics being in Battlefield, sweet spot mechanics, this and that. Now, I will say that one-shot mechanics are probably cheesy, and they really don't have a purpose in most shooters. But I will tell you, that was the most fun I had for a long time with this game, especially when I was struggling to try to enjoy myself while I was grinding for max level. This was the most fun I had. So, with the SWS, when I was playing the way I was playing with it, laser sight, standard barrel, close combat rounds, to have the highest rate of fire. And you might be thinking, well, if you put the short barrel, don't you technically get a higher rate of fire? You should, because the rate of fire goes up to 70, right? But in reality, this is bugged and does not work correctly. So you can take my word for it. I'm not going to throw a clip in here to show the difference. Just if you've got this unlocked, do yourself a favor. If you're like, nah, you're full of it, go into the game, just hip fire the factory barrel. Watch how fast you rechamber the next round, and then switch to the short barrel and look at the difference. It doesn't make sense. But again, it's DICE. Whenever they made sense in the last decade, no offense, I don't know. But this is the normal build. If you're gonna do traditional sniping, okay, I would recommend the standard rounds. If you want to even play further out and you want less bullet drop, you can use high power rounds. There's no reason to really use the laser sight if you're going to do normal sniping. If you want to use laser sight for other incidences that could occur when you're sniping, if you're getting pushed or whatever, you could have it, and while you're long range sniping, you could just turn it off, and then you can turn it back on whenever you want, right? Don't forget, it defaults to on, you can turn it off, and it's not bugged anymore. Or if you get like down and you get revived, it automatically turns back on. That used to be a problem. Or I see a lot of people run the master key. That's fun to do. But if you don't know what you want to do, you can just throw on the grip. You've got a bipod if you want that as well. There also has a HE launcher as well. Okay, you've got some really weird versatility with the SWS. It actually has the best out of the snipers. Now, for the skin itself, okay, the reason I'm running this skin, and the name of it, I believe, is Red Mist, right? Yeah, okay. This changes the 6x scope. For those of you who did not play the beta, the 6x scope in the beta was an actual cross in the center, not the red plus that everybody has with the 6x scope, which is why most people hate the 6x scope. I personally hate the 6x scope optic, but the Red Mist gets rid of that and makes it a nice sight picture like the 8x, just without the dial markers, okay, on the 8x optic. Or if you want something more zoomed in, you have the 8x. You also now have where is it, 12x? I don't have it unlocked because I don't really snipe anymore, but the 12x is there now, and it's pretty zoomed in. I hate it, but it's there. And the DXR has the fastest bullet velocity in the game. Has the fastest bullet velocity, I believe, in the entire franchise. Don't quote me on that. Someone told me that's 1100 feet per second, meters per, I don't remember. Anyways, with the high power rounds, it has the fastest bullet velocity. But I didn't really notice the difference in the bullet drop too much between the standard and the high power. So that just comes to preference on how far out you want to sit. No bottom attachment, no laser, right? You're just stuck with a bipod for all eternity. Okay, that's not the end of the world. I do wish I could put a laser on it, but that's all right. It is what it is. You could put the long barrel as well if you want to increase your projectile velocity on top of the bullet velocity you already have. I don't know the number on that, again, because sin.gg stopped supporting the game. Don't blame them. And then this is defaulted to the 6x, but I always switch to the 8s. I don't get any further out to the 8 for me, personally. I don't like anything more zoomed than that. I do use the 10x occasionally because that has a fantastic sight picture, but it is still too far zoomed in for most cases for me, the way that I play. NTW, there's nothing for this, right? I was running the high power rounds earlier because I was in that milsim server where I was, you know, like 2-3 shotting jets out of the air. So that was cool. I did test the 12x on this because I did kill enough people in the server to get it. But yeah, I don't like the 12x. The 10x, I was actually using the 10x a lot when I was sniping vehicles out of the air because it has that nice open picture with the dot in the middle, right? Whereas this kind of has your typical traditional sniper scope with the dial markers, okay? But normally, I just run the normal rounds if I'm shooting people. If you want to do damage to vehicles, yeah, you could do that. I will still say that it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage to armor and jeeps, but it does a pretty good amount of damage to helicopters. I did notice that. You're doing like 15, 17 damage to the transports each shot with this. And you can almost like 4-shot the Nightbird in normal mode. That's pretty cool. For those of you guys who weren't around when the game first came out, when this thing was unlocked, this thing would 6-shot tanks with the high power rounds. You could solo a tank and he'd never know where you were. That was pretty insane. So the nerf, as boring as it was definitely deserved. That was really fun to do for a while, but anyways. Oh, right. This thing one-shots you out to 100 meters. It's not 150. It used to be 150. It's 100 now. So outside of 100 meters, it drops. The damage goes from 120 to 90. The base damage is 120 because if you are running armor plates and you get shot in the chest within 100 meters, it does not matter. It'll still drop you. Whereas the other two snipers used to do 110. This will do 120. I'm going to be honest with you on the X-Bar. I don't like it. I did not like it compared to the SWS. People were telling me that this reach chamber is faster than the SWS. But if I run close combat rounds with the SWS and the standard barrel, factory barrel, the rate of fire are both 60. So they shoot at the same speed. Okay, so anybody saying this is shooting faster than this SWS is placeboing you. And unfortunately, the close combat rounds are supposed to make it shoot faster, but it's bugged. You notice that not even in the game does it show the rate of fire change. This should shoot faster, and I really wanted to try it, but it was really a letdown when I tried and it didn't work, and then I confirmed it with the guys in chat when they were in the stream. Like, yeah, dude, it doesn't do anything. So, meh, bummer. Anyways, I will say though, the 6x on this, the special one it gets, because you do have the option to go to the standard 6x, which I don't know why you would do that, because this 6x, and I still believe that the 6x on this is more zoomed in than the 6. I could be wrong, but it feels like it's more zoomed in to me, right? Even I don't know everything. Some things feel wonky, but you know, hey. But the 6x on this is the same sight picture as the 10x, just at the 6x optic zoom. So you got a nice default sight picture. I really don't see any reason to swap to any other long range sight unless you just like the 8x, right? So 8x is always a good option to have, yeah. But it's a nice picture at default. So I personally didn't see a reason to change it. It was a good zoom level. For me, again, don't really see a reason why I won't use a laser because I like playing aggressive. But if you like the bipod's there. You got the grips and so on and so forth. Not a whole lot of versatility, right? There's no versatility. There's no shotgun attachment or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. Last guy, real quick. You're just gonna knock this out because there's nothing for it. There's nothing for it. There's nothing for it. Need I say more? There's nothing for it. You get a bipod. That's cool. Don't care. I don't lay prone. I don't ever prone when I snipe, by the way. The only time I'm laying prone is to hide behind cover or reset, okay? I know, I'm sure if you have watched Sodia back in the past, who is a very avid sniper in the previous Battlefield titles, you've probably been told numerous times, don't go lay prone. Just don't go prone. Just don't do it. Don't prone. I don't know how many times we can tell you guys not to go prone. You just make yourself an easier target, and we thank you for that. But just don't go prone. Now, Magnum feels like it has the same bullet velocity as the DXR. I believe that the DXR is still slightly faster, but this has good bullet drop, bullet velocity, and it has an extended mag. So hey, at least they got that. And then I usually run the 8X on this. So that's really all I have for the snipers, guys. There's not much else to cover. If you have any questions or comments, concerns, let me know. Again, for anybody who liked to play aggressive sniping or practice quick scoping before it got nerfed, I'm sorry. That was definitely 100% my fault. I don't know which dev that I killed many, many times by aggressively one-clicking them in their face, or too many players complaining about it. I don't know. But I'm definitely the problem. And I've been told I'm the problem, so I apologize. I'm very sad. I wish it would come back, but I know it's not. So anyways, guys, until the next one, I'll catch you and see you later.